Potential Man as a meme has been pillaged and looted for all of its worth. In 2023, a nuclear bomb was dropped. Not the one you're thinking of, it was more like Potential Man. And instead of being dropped on women and children, it was dropped on one of the biggest bums in shonen. It seriously cannot be overstated just how much this one fucking meme destroyed Megumi's reputation on the internet. Like, genuinely forever. He has never recovered, and you know what sucks? Potential Man kind of never recovered either. This shit has been dragged through the mud by unfunny Twitter posters and Redditors alike since its inception, to the point where they don't even get the point anymore. Like, what is this, man? This isn't even fucking Potential Man. Potential Man was handcrafted in a cave with a box of scraps, and those scraps in that box were pure unfiltered hatred for Megumi Fushiguro. What modern Potential ripoffs miss now is that distilled, genuine emotion. But also, the point that Potential Man was making about Megumi, it was made to refer to a specific character, how they're often hyped up, whether it be their abilities or their accomplishments, but how those things were never, ever shown on screen. Hence, the incredible subtitle of If and When, But Never Is. It's not about the characters that are supposed to be mysterious, or characters that might not have had their full story explained yet. It was about some loser who never does anything, even though the narrative so desperately wants you to think that they do. And it was such an accurate slander piece that it spread like wildfire in anime manga communities and then to the broader world. Okay, and before someone says it, inevitably, yes, I know the meme originates from sports Twitter, okay? But Kampa took it and ran with it, and I never would have thought that a guy I worked with on the MHA retrospective would have been out there ruining Megumi Fushiguro's life, but man, he cooked. Much like everything that is sacred and pure, the internet took something that was pointed, specific, and genuinely hilarious, and integrated it way too much into their vernacular. This happens all the fucking time. You can't have a good joke that goes on for too long online because of a broader issue. And when I sat back and thought about it, I was like, man, we're in the bot era. I'll explain what I mean by that too, so don't worry. Think about it though, because it's not just Potential Man, right? People will say, oh, this doesn't have soul. People will say, oh, this is MCU writing, or oh, this is Reddit humor, oh, that's Cope, oh, this is Aura, oh, I'm a merchant, or this guy's a fraud, oh, this is mid, this is peak, oh, this is a media literacy issue. Even bot, the word that I use to describe this, is a fucking buzzword. As I think about this, Stranger Things just kind of wrapped up relatively recently, and I think you can see a lot of the botness in that. For clarity, I did not think that Season 5, nor Stranger Things at large, was particularly good. You know, I often dabble in a little bit of buzzwords myself because I love to call Season 5 planned slop. Like, dude, I don't know who has seen it, but they don't have fucking human conversations on that show, and all they do is plan. Or they go like, they'll do this thing where someone will say a key word, and a character will have that puzzled look on their face, and they'll repeat it like, wait, the wormhole. Just watch Season 5, you'll see exactly what I mean. It feels so inauthentic. But slop is another buzzword, but Season 5 is planned slop, okay? People calling this shit full Marvel slop, Marvel Avengers Universe slop, or we have this tweet where someone will defend Cyberpunk when it first came out because people hate fun and whimsy. Like, this shit doesn't mean anything! I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know how you engage with people in 2026 because they don't know how to say anything. Everything is slop, or MCU, or Reddit, or has no soul. Like, nobody knows how to fucking talk anymore. And all of these, every single one of these buzzwords used to mean something. They used to have pointed definitions, or they used to be extrapolated upon by people, but they don't. It's just fucking saying shit these days. And look, sometimes hitting a buzzword is funny, man. I've been saying that Modern ReZero has been doing fight slop for like 6 months, and it makes me laugh every time. I think it's hilarious. Or the joke about, that tweet about quality slop, which requires you to be so online to get that it's insane. It's a good bit. The difference with proper use of buzzwords is that you can use them to make a succinct version of your point. Do I call Modern ReZero fight slop? Yes. Can I also go on a long, exhaustive explanation as to why I think that is, rather than just hiding behind funny internet terminology to mask my feelings? Also, yes. People expect these buzzwords to be universal wisdom. You can just call whatever you want Marvel slop, and what does that mean? Well, whatever the reader wants it to mean, I guess. It has become Schrodinger's literary criticism, and I don't know if I'm using the correct use of the prefix of Schrodinger's here, sorry. More and more, it seems like people online are unable to explain how they feel about things. And so they have to fall back to these kind of catch-all terms because anybody can interpret them in any way that you want to. because all it does is convey a basic intent, whether it be positive or negative. Soul is a good thing to have. What does it mean beyond that? Who can say? Aura is a cool thing to have. What does it mean beyond that? Who can say? Media literacy is a good thing to have. What do people mean when they say it? They don't know. It's just a weapon to be used against other people. What does Reddit humor mean? You might get a different response for anyone you talk to. What does MCU writing mean? It's a bad thing, it seems. Beyond that, who can say? More and more, it feels like, and I don't have any real quantifiable data for this, it's just a vibe-based analysis, but it feels like more and more people are unable to actually extract any meaning from text. And I'll get into why I think that is in just a moment, and to be honest, maybe you'll think I'm insane for it. Just look at how people are talking about one battle after another the past week or two on Twitter, okay? It's fucking madness. I'm not even saying you have to like the movie or anything, but shit like, everyone is defending a trope-filled film? My brother in Christ, the tropes came free with their understanding of language and storytelling. Sean Penn's reward is a literal room in an office park in Simi Valley. Did you just not look at your screen for the last 10 minutes of the fucking movie? Is this not insanity? Please, for the love of God, stop scrolling on your fucking phone while consuming media if you're gonna talk about it on Twitter. I think Stranger Things is a good example of how fucked our minds are, and I don't mean that if you like it, your mind is fucked, so please don't get mad. Like, just think of how people talk in the final season, okay? Really think about it. It's agonizing. They don't talk like people because of the goddamn Netflix second screen thing. They want you to write scenes where people are talking about what they're doing for people that aren't watching. Plan slop after plan slop, over-explanation after over-explanation, a distinct lack of human interaction in the final season because it's not like people are fucking paying attention anyway. Watching that season genuinely sucked ass because of the second screen stuff, dude. It was actually painful. It's all plans all the way down. What is going on, man? Now, I don't necessarily think that second screen viewing is a sign of educational decay. People have done this for, like, ever. It's just that back in the 90s, you were spared from having to read the opinion of someone who was watching it while on their fucking iPhone. While driving. It's a serious issue with new media, though. While streaming offers benefits such as decreased distribution costs, which in turn allows for more experimentation, the media itself is being made worse. And here's Matt Damon talking about it on the podcast that turns you into a dipshit.
Think, you know, you're watching in a room, the lights are on, other shit's going on, the kids are running around, the dogs are running around, whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's just a very different level of attention that you're willing to, or that you're able to give to it. And that has a big effect, and it also ends up having an effect, or is starting to have an effect on how you make movies. You usually have like 3 set pieces, one in the first act, one in the second, one in the third, and you know, they kind of ramp up, and the big one with all the explosions, and you spend most of your money on that one in the third act. That's your kind of finale. And now they're like, can we get a big one in the first 5 minutes to get somebody? You know, we want people to stay tuned in, and you know, it wouldn't be terrible if you reiterated the plot 3 or 4 times in the dialogue because people are on their phones while they're watching. You know what I mean?
I always feel like, complaining about it makes me feel like one of these guys was like, when I was a boy, like, you always want to freeze the culture at the time when you, I don't know, felt more like, we didn't used to have these phones. The fuck are all these phones? And everybody's looking at their phone. I get it. Yes, it's true. Also, it's like supply and demand. People want to look at their phone. They can look at TikTok. They want, they're going to do that. I think what you can do is make shit the best you can.
People are less literate. They're watching things on their second screens, and they have to ask Grok how to wipe their ass for them, because AI has become the ultimate yes man that degrades their mental faculties. Hating prequels is extremely unk-coded. I feel like the prequels are like one of the most criticized things of my lifetime, and it's not because they think it sucks because it's cool. It's easy to call AAA soulless, but are you brave enough to call most indies soulless as well? What is soul? What does soul mean? Can we get a little answer on what soul means, please? Hello, I'm a Deadlock player from Tel Aviv, and this is my main. This guy asked me, I was talking about the new JJK episode, and he responded, it had no soul, but looked great. And I was like, literally, what does this mean? And he doesn't even really answer what no soul means. He doesn't, and they start arguing about some shit down here, it doesn't really matter, but like, what the fuck does no soul mean? Everyone who thinks the top looks better genuinely does not have a human soul, just fragments. What? For clarity, I do think the bottom one looks better, but like, what are you talking about? Nah, the writing is just like Marvel slop. What does that mean? There was a guy who replied to me, and he said, He said that this JJK scene was over-animated, and I was like, what the hell does over-animated mean, man? And he instantly, like, got mad. And it's like, dude, I'm just asking you a clarifying question. And then I was like, I'm being dense by asking you to clarify something? Because you didn't actually ask. Don't try and flip this, goober. Like, dude, I'm just asking you what these terms you're using, and frankly, that I think you're using incorrectly, or, like, nonsensically mean. I'm not, like, this is the thing, you ask people to explain their buzzwords and they get pissed off about it. Sorry, man. Like, no disrespect to whoever posted this. This is, like, the worst potential, man, iteration I've ever seen, dude. People just say stuff, man, and I guess that's okay, like, free country, right? You can say whatever you want. Well, is it a free country? I don't know. I don't really know anymore. I don't know. Things are weird, dude. Things are weird. Maybe things have always been this way. I don't know. And unfortunately, content creators will take advantage of you being a moron. While some people still make in-depth video essays, we're living in an era of video recaps and insubstantive, personality-focused analysis, which involves painting your face blue and screaming at the camera as we shift to the attention-based economy. Learning the nuance of things is fucking boring. Being loud, obnoxious, and lacking nuance generates clicks, which gets you pushed by the algorithm. You just can't speak with integrity anymore, man. You always have to be the loudest or the funniest, or you have to have the best quote retweet slam dunk on some 16-year-old's head so you can farm 20k off of them. It's your moral imperative to call a 6 out of 10 manga spiritually Israeli because you're incapable of formulating a single opinion, but hey, at least you know that Israel's bad. You know, you got that going for you. That's good. What's the point of this video? I don't know. It's to talk about how people just suck at communicating now. You know, everything's behind 300 layers of irony and internet memes. Someone will say some dumb shit, and if you press them on it, they'll just go, oh, dude, I'm just rage baiting, or I'm just joking. You know? It's really easy to turn around and go, hey, it's because of those damn TikToks, or hey, it's because the next generation is inherently more stupid than my generation. Don't ask what the generation before mine thought of my generation. I, in fact, have not found any work, at least at this time, that insinuates that Instagram Reels are causing your kid to be stupid and uneducated. I have found one meta-study that asks the question for which direction the problem goes in. Are YouTube Shorts causing your kids to be stupid, or does your kid watch YouTube Shorts because they're stupid? All it found is that relative to those who are not watching short-form content, people who enjoy that type of stuff have a shorter attention span. It's very possible Reels really are ruining your brain, but who knows? Maybe your brain was ruined to begin with. Like mine. You're constantly inundated with permanent information that your brain eventually just learns to ignore because you can't take all of it in. And when you aren't properly taught how to engage with all this information, how to properly intake all this content because our educational systems are decaying, what is going to happen? You're going to end up with people who doom scroll Twitter all day, unable to engage with nuanced or methodical content because it doesn't properly stimulate their little brain chunks, and won't be able to engage with discussions or rhetoric outside of potential man. Because they're lost. They will fundamentally be unable to grasp these things that you are saying. And when you ask them to explain what they mean, they'll get mad at you, or they'll ask ChatGPT to spit out the top 3 counter-arguments. Obviously, fixing our crumbling institutions is a giant task in itself, but I think we would benefit from, like, banning phones from schools completely. Well, okay, I should clarify. When I say from schools, I don't mean, like, from the halls and shit. I mean, like, you shouldn't be able to have a phone in the classroom. That's how it was when I was growing up. As an adult, I worked at a school, and I saw it firsthand, okay? I saw it firsthand. These kids are not absorbing what is happening around them. They're not engaging in interpersonal connections. They're immersed in the infinite void of information of the internet when they should be looking in front of them to learn what the fuck an exponent is. I think people gather the vibe. They don't like something, or they just like something on its face, and that's about it. A complete inability to actually be able to extrapolate, an inability to understand. I'm not really an expert here, but all I can think about how, in America at least, apparently people, like, can't fucking read anymore. And I'm not going to make any sweeping generalizations about the rest of the world because I'm ignorant about the rest of the world, just like all Americans. I'm a true-blooded American, okay? But in America, 33% of 8th graders were reading at a level that is below basic, which is defined as being unable to follow the order of events in a passage or to even summarize its main idea. That is the highest share of students being unable to meaningfully read since 1992. That's a lot of people. That's the target audience for some of these goddamn Japanese comic books we're talking about. It's not as if they hit the 9th grade and suddenly lock in either. These people are hitting the workforce, not being able to dissect any meaning from text beyond aura and swag. Having a low reading level doesn't only impact reading, even though it is quite fittingly labeled reading level. It's emblematic of other issues, like being able to formulate sentences, like being able to form arguments or structuring debate. So when I get comments like this one, telling me to Kurt Cobain myself, I really can't take it all that personally. They literally don't know how else to express themselves. They're really mad, and they can't find any other words to showcase that. So like, I don't take offense to it, it's fine. Now you might be wondering the cause, and I'm not going to be able to tell you that completely. It's a relatively recent phenomenon, and I don't have the credentials necessary to say, here is the definitive reason why kids are failing in school more and more. However, I can give my thoughts, and you can take that for what you will. I think one of the most important things to note is that conservatives hate you, and they want you to be stupid. It's a very fundamental part of the conservative platform, because if you're too educated, well, then you vote more left. If you vote more to the left, then they can't get into power. It's an entire power dynamic that fundamentally relies on you being an idiot, so they can do whatever death cult shit they want to do. And again, this isn't to say it's the only reason why literacy might be failing, but it certainly has to be one. Anti-elitism, anti-intellectualism, anti-wokeism, anti-academia, the conservative movement is frothing at the mouth to destroy the education system. I mean, seriously. The ideology that spent like 8 years shitting their pants and reaching into their diapers to throw their shit around the world because of participation trophies really needs the participation trophy of making you stupid so that you vote for them. The ultimate participation trophy, eternal rule. Just look at how mad Republicans are about the fucking Department of Education, dude. There is frankly no better demonstration of the idea that they want you to be stupid than the man who has already had his brain skull fucked so many times all of his hair fell out of his weak and pathetic scalp like Pim Tool, saying universal literacy was a mistake this month. This mush for brains, pathetically insecure bald freak and Russian propagandist wears it on his sleeve that he wants you to be as stupid as he is. Unfortunately for Tim, however, he's probably not doing that because he's evil. He's probably doing this because he's genuinely mentally stunted from all the Newports his mother was breathing into his face as a baby. He would know a thing or two about being uneducated, having dropped out at age 14. And it's fine, okay, I can make fun of him for that because I dropped out at age 16. Thankfully, however, my hair held on a lot longer than his did before it started to fall out. They want you stupid and uneducated, as evidenced by some of the alleged brightest minds on the right like Nick Shirley, who can't speak a fucking coherent sentence presumably because his hometown in Utah is 4 generations crossbred.
Who do you think are the 3 most benevolent billionaires?
What do you mean by the word benevolent?
I'm not so angry about it that I would believe that it all fundamentally falls on Republicans, because I'm sure if you got into the weeds that wouldn't be correct. You know, I'm sure that there have been some failings from the Democrats on how our educational policy has developed. The difference is that Democrats are morons who continually step on the rake and hit themselves in the face with the handle, while the Republicans place the rake and 30 pounds of dynamite under a small village, and then after you blow up and die, they come and shoot your dead body. These people are evil and stupid, and they think that you're too stupid to notice that they're evil and stupid. They want to ensure that you're too stupid to notice, so they reduce education spending, they leave it up to the states. They remove challenging material from the curriculum because it's against American values. They ban books that can contend with their worldview from school libraries. They threaten to withhold funding for any schools that might teach about progressive ideas of sex and gender. Cuts to research funding for things like climate change, vaccines, HIV, COVID-19, LGBT topics, diversity, race, and ethnicity. Anything considered under the ever-elusive and meaningless term of woke. The curriculum is falling apart, people are reading less, literacy rates are falling, and this leads to the knock-on effect of how people talk about art or how they cannot formulate themselves. The tools and education necessary to do so have been ripped from them. Because nobody knows how to have a real fucking conversation anymore. Everyone is so goddamn irony poisoned, or submerged 30 videos deep into a certain creator to the point that they adopt all their stated positions and takes. On whatever social media app you unfortunately use, just pay attention to it. You'll see it everywhere. Really think and scrutinize the vague, meaningless words people use to talk about things. And if you're in a conversation with someone doing it, press them. Tell them to explain what they mean. It'll either make no fucking sense, they'll dip out of the conversation, or you'll learn a little more about someone and why they believe the things that they do. Like, seriously, next time you see someone mention media literacy, ask them to explain why someone does or does not lack media literacy. Because nobody knows what it means. You have media literacy when you like the thing that I like, and you don't have media literacy when you dislike the thing that I like. That's literally it. They were watching Fairy Tale in English class and never really learned how to formulate their own arguments, and also simultaneously couldn't name 3 characters from Fairy Tale. It's okay, neither can I. That's all, I guess. Learning to read and critically diagnose things is pretty cool. I just wanted to complain about how everything is meaningless these days. Goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe for more. You can also check the description down below to become a member, which gives you benefits like early videos, membership badges, and cool custom emotes. You can join the Discord where we talk about ReZero, Kagurabachi, Jujutsu Kaisen, and all kind of stuff. Additionally, you can go to the channel store and pick up some awesome stickers made by our channel artist, so you can carry the power of Graphia with you on your water bottle. That's about it though. Thank you for watching. See ya.